Good day, guys. It's Saj Experience, and today we welcome Taylor Hirth to the office to discuss the details of the night she was gang raped in front of her 2-year-old child by several men in a home invasion. Let's talk about it. Taylor Hirth is a freelance writer, public speaker, and a dedicated advocate for survivors of sexual violence. This is the story of one young woman's attempt to get justice, only to experience firsthand why so many victims of sexual assault don't even think it's worth reporting the crime to police. Sometime after 1 a.m. on February 9, 2016, at the Stony Brook apartment complex where Taylor lived at the time, her door was pushed in and she was gang raped in her own bed in the Kansas City, Missouri apartment complex. While then, her 2-year-old daughter slept by her side. She was face down on her pillow for part of the time. Later, the men put her pajama pants over her head, lifting them only to ejaculate in her face. Taylor knew how hard it is to get a conviction in an assault case. Taylor made the men use lubricant not only because they were doing things that were hurting her, but she tells the detective in a taped interview, but also that she wanted their hands to be sticky to leave obvious fingerprints. At one point, when one of the men tried to force his penis into her mouth, she protested, saying that her mouth was dry. Could he get her a glass of water? They would have to touch glasses, cabinets, and the kitchen faucet, therefore leaving some type of DNA. Then she saw an opportunity to escape once during the assault. When she thought the guy's pants were around their ankles, she tried to lunge across the bed to grab her daughter, but as soon as she made a move in that direction, she was grabbed and punched in the back of her head and side and bent over to the side of the bed. Then the rape began. After the attack, she purposely did not shower, so the dried semen would remain on her thighs, her belly, her face, knowing she had to preserve the DNA. Taylor herself gives the detective possible leads during her recorded interview on February 10th. She talks of a company whose workers may have had access to the building and says someone had recently written something like "You sexy" in the dust of her windshield in the apartment parking lot. She also mentions that one of the men said it was another man's birthday the day of the attack, and that she heard one of the attackers calling another by name. She wasn't 100% sure what it was, but she gives the detectives 3 similar sounding names that she might have heard. In 2019, it was the DNA from the deputy's rape that led police to him and Brady Newman Codwell, 2 men accused of the gang rape of Taylor Hirth. This is her story and the battle seeking justice. Take a listen.
Tonight, a young mother who was gang raped inside her apartment with her 2-year-old present has a powerful message to share.
And her message: it's important to believe. Taylor Hirth will head to court this week to watch another woman's case be resolved. Taylor's story may be tough to hear, but it brings up an ugly truth about how rape victims are treated. Here's investigative reporter Angie Racono.
I didn't even hear my door being broken down. I felt some adult hands on my mouth. Quiet, get on your stomach.
Taylor Hirth was attacked inside her apartment in the middle of the night. She only screamed once.
After that, I never screamed again because my daughter was sleeping right next to me.
Eventually, her 2-year-old woke up.
At one point, she sat up and held my hand while I was bent over the bed being raped.
Taylor tried to escape.
They grabbed me down and punched me and told me if I did it again, they'd punch her.
Taylor reported her attack.
I hate to disparage the police, but they were very dismissive when I came forward. What happened here? There was no humanity in their voice.
Do you feel you were believed?
No, I didn't. I felt dismissed. I felt like their focus was mostly on, oh, here we go again. It's another girl crime rape.
Taylor says Independence police question how the door was really broken and what truly happened. Shockingly, Taylor says no one questioned what happened to 2-year-old Evelyn.
There were multiple men in that bedroom, and I don't know if any of them touched her, and nobody thought to ask me or ask her. and I still don't know if anything happened to her, and that terrifies me.
Here was a young mother gang raped with a 2-year-old present, but there was no press conference, no reward for information.
It was horrific.
Taylor would eventually turn to KCTV5 to share details, hoping to solve her case. One attacker talked about celebrating his birthday. She heard the name Josh, and the men took pictures. Because her face was covered, she doesn't know how many men were in her bedroom, but she believes anywhere from 3 to 5 men. Independence Police eventually closed the case, saying all leads were exhausted. 6 months later, a Johnson County deputy was ambushed in Olathe, kidnapped and driven around in a vehicle where 2 men took turns raping her for hours on gravel roads. She was released near the Jackson County Sheriff's Department.
Everybody's taking it personal. We all have daughters, mothers, sisters, nieces.
The reaction to this attack was very different, and a different department was in charge.
Immediately, I saw the contrast of how my case was handled compared to how the case in Johnson County was handled, which was handled fantastic. I mean, they pulled video, they did a press conference, and they had them captured within a couple days. Obviously, they believed her, they took her seriously, and that's how every survivor should be treated, as if it's one of their own. And I didn't feel like I was treated that way. So it was kind of a slap in the face.
Within days, police would link the cases. DNA recovered from Taylor's rape kit matched evidence in the deputy's attack. It turns out Brady Newman Cadell lived in Taylor's apartment complex at the time of her attack, and the date of her rape matched William Luth's birthday.
I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken that, people in her own profession failed to protect me, and in doing so, they failed to protect her.
Cadell and Luth are now charged in Taylor's attack, but when she stares them down in court, it's for what happened to the deputy.
What is it like being in court with them?
It's almost empowering to see that they're now, looking away because they can't face it. I faced it.
And she's faced all the ugly realities on this journey.
That's the person that raped me, was a dad and a kind neighbor. And that's so unnerving. Once in a while, the justice system works.
But justice isn't always complete.
Do you still believe there were more than 2 attackers?
I am convinced that there were at least 3. I just kind of have to live knowing that there's somebody out there that got away with it and that probably thinks they can get away with it again. And that breaks my heart, but the justice system isn't perfect, and that's something that I just kind of have to live with.
We reached out to the Independence Police Department to ask if the officers who took Taylor's report ever received any specific training and how to respond to sex assault victims, or if they received training following that attack. An officer with
Hope and pray that she finds justice. Okay, guys, I want to thank you for sharing in the Saj experience. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, be blessed.